head in the room told me, leave them aside, okay? So I've turned off that computer, left it in her lap, and if I make any mistakes tonight, it's all her fault. So she wants me to speak from the heart, because that's what I do well, and I will speak from the heart. First off, dear friends, supporters, allies, guests, observers, I truly, truly appreciate you taking your Thursday night out to join me this evening in kicking off this campaign. And you know, this is a bit of a replay for some of us because we did this last August as a kickoff for another campaign. And we learned a lot in the trenches, and we grew and we developed, and we considered it a victory. Even though it didn't get me that council seat at City Hall, it was a victory because we mobilized people. We inspired women and youth. We inspired diverse communities to actually engage in the municipal process. Well, that's why I felt it was my duty to do it again, and do it again in my home ward, Ward 4. Tonight, I'm delighted that my local school board trustee, Sue Lawton, has come out to support me. I am honored that our former mayor of Toronto and our human rights commissioner, who actually lives by human rights all the way, is here tonight. Barbara Hall, thank you very much. Of course, Max, thanks for driving her. Husbands are good for those things.
Actually, she drove and I was on the phone.
They do those things too. So, I am very honored to have the support that I feel around me in this campaign. This campaign feels different. This campaign feels like we're moving somewhere and we're going to reach that goal this time. Well, let me tell you why I'm running. A lot of you know what motivates me, what makes me tick. Well, you know that transparency, fairness, and accessibility is what I thrive on. It's what I drive, what I believe in. One of my characteristics, strongest characteristics that I challenge other people to also personify is consistency. I am consistently advocating for accessibility. Am I not? And accessibility not just for persons with disabilities, but for everybody. I don't want anybody left behind in our communities and in our neighborhoods. This election is very important. It's important because it's the heart of Mississauga. It's the old Mississauga Valley community. It's the Square One. It's the artery of our transportation system. It's the heart and soul of intensification. The change we are going to see in the Downtown 21 plan and beyond is tremendous. So this is the place where things are going to happen. We don't want neighborhoods left behind. I am here to put residents first. You, the taxpayer, you, the resident in Mississauga, have to have a strong, clear voice on City Council, balancing your interests with the interests of other stakeholders, our business partners, our developers, our bureaucrats, our politicians. I am not tied to any particular platform or party formula. I am not striving for higher levels of government. I am happy being right on the ground with real people, with real issues, real ideas, and real dreams. I'm here to work with every one of you to make our dreams a reality. Our dreams for a healthy future. Our dreams of a safe neighborhood. Our dreams of a prosperous tomorrow. A prosperous today and tomorrow. It is about today, it is about tomorrow. There are many, many things that are going to be happening in the days, weeks, years ahead to improve quality of life. And quality of life has to be front and center. No compromise. no compromise on the backs of our residents and our neighborhoods. We have to make sure that we are making improvements to our transportation system, addressing gridlock, smoothing out how you move around in your vehicles, because I know that the residents of Mississauga and residents of Ward 4 are not going to give up their vehicles overnight if we enhance public transit. But public transit does need to be enhanced. Things do need to change for a better tomorrow, to improve our quality of life and to improve the quality of life of generations that are going to call Mississauga home. Those improvements need to be negotiated, and the interests involved need to be balanced to serve everyone, to improve quality of life for all. So I am here committing to one thing and one thing alone, and that is to be the voice of residents, to make sure that I put residents first, and I will. I believe that every voice counts, that when we make sure all voices are heard, we create not only a feeling of belonging, but a reality of belonging. When we create that reality of belonging, we as individuals tend to take ownership. We tend to want to improve our environment. We tend to want to improve what's around our surroundings. We tend to want to be creative and energized and engaged to ensure that, again, we are living a healthy, safe, and prosperous life. So let's put our hands together to ensure that we engage, we educate, we vote. Voting in the municipal process is equally as important as any other level of government. I need you to help me spread the word so that we truly choose someone that we believe in, that the majority of Mississauga residents of Ward 4, particularly in this by-election, vote based on who they believe in. Somebody that has genuine commitment, has no other aspirations to see beyond Ward 4, somebody who has the experience of what Ward 4 is about and how it's evolved over the years and where it needs to go, ensuring that quality of life, again, is maintained and enhanced for all its neighborhoods. Thank you. I am committed to establishing residents associations and supporting those residents associations to have a voice, to be a part of the municipal process. I am committed to having an open door policy of being accessible, being out in the community, having community-based office hours in non-traditional settings, talking to people who are the taxpayer, hearing their issues and concerns. I want to be accessible to everybody, however they choose to reach out to me, whether it's through social media, it's through the phone, or it's by knocking on my door. My neighbors will attest to the fact that they can knock on my door and usually just walk in. I don't know if I'll do that forever. Maybe I'll lock the door for a change. But I am going to be as humanly accessible and responsive to the needs of individuals in our community that is absolutely humanly possible. I know that we have parts of this ward with different needs. We have the Mississauga Valley community that's an older community. We have experienced quite the few catastrophes in some households. We've had an issue with flooded basements. Our infrastructure is aging. We have people with lots of cars and nowhere to park them. We have small crime on the rise, vandalism, littering. We have youth with not much to do. We have parks that need better maintenance. We have sidewalks that need, again, improvements to be smoothed over. We need all partners responsible in infrastructure, our utility companies, our public works, working together so that we're not digging up the road twice, so that we're not doing something that the community is uninformed about, so that we're minimizing the impact and disruption in people's lives, so that we're clearly communicating with people when we are undertaking disruptions. It's also equally important that we work and continue to work to make this city more walkable and more livable environmentally. So it's important that we put our creative thinking hats, we think out of the box, and create new ways so that we get out there and we have alternatives to pulling out our vehicle and starting that car. And you know, some of us don't do that real well. We depend on others to drive us, but we need to minimize that. We need to have more efficiencies in our environment to allow for public transit systems to thrive, to allow for bicycles and alternate ways of getting around to be a viable option for people. Now, I touched on transportation, and transportation is very important. We have made improvements to our transit system. I can take some credit that I have worked very hard as the accessibility committee chair in the last 8 years to make sure that we're on track with the accessibility of our transit system. 100% of the Mississauga My Way bus fleet is fully accessible, but we still have a lot of work to do. The automated announcement systems are there, but we still have a lot of work to do. We need to make sure that we're leveraging technology to the best of our advantage. There are higher orders of transportation. It's not one solution or one shoe fits all. We have the BRT idea tossed around. We need better east-west connections. We have the north-south idea, but we need to know how it links us east and west so people truly start taking it for the long haul, to get themselves to work and back, so that we also create less congestion for those people that want to drive their cars to run local errands and to go to multiple places. People will never give up their vehicles, but we need to inspire them to use them less because we're offering them safe, accessible, affordable, and efficient alternatives. Again, as far as technology goes, we need to leverage that technology in terms of, you know, making our signal systems adaptive in real time so that traffic can be observed and congestion can be reduced in different ways. We need to be always thinking 10 to 20 to 50 years ahead, because if we don't plan for tomorrow, we will pay the consequences. As we know, today we have a debt. Our former mayor, Hurricane Hazel, lived by the philosophy that you don't spend what you don't have. Well, me coming from the not-for-profit sector, my philosophy is you don't spend what you don't have, but you also spend very carefully what you do have. And you make sure that you build capacity to make your work sustainable. So we need to find ways to be sustainable as a city in our services, in our programs. We need to find ways to accommodate the needs of our seniors, the needs of our youth, the needs of our newcomer communities, the needs of our women and children. We have a lot of work to do, folks. We continue to grow and develop as a city. We're almost bursting, so we know that intensification is inevitable. But intensification has to be practical, relevant, meaningful, and within the character of neighborhoods. We cannot just sit back and let it happen. We have to plan very carefully how we implement intensification in our corridors. We have to plan very carefully how redevelopment happens within neighborhoods. Now, where am I going with this? Well, where I am going is, I'm here, I've lived here almost 40 years, and depending on, my life expectancy or whatever the terminology is these days, how long I'm gonna last in this world, I'll probably live here another 40 plus years. Sam, are you ready for that? So, I'm not going anywhere. I don't like that kind of drastic change in my life. But I am a change agent. I thrive making things happen. I thrive on making things move, and I do speak truth to power. Because I don't see what's happening, it's very convenient for me to get away with it. So, like I've said in the past, I don't waste time seeing, I spend time doing, and boy do I drive everybody crazy around me because of that. I just make them work way too hard. Yeah. Right, family? From my father, who's 75-ish, to my 12-year-old daughter, everybody in my life volunteers. So, we're here to stay. We are all equal citizens. We come from all sorts of lands and cultures calling Mississauga home. Yes, we honor the fact that this is Aboriginal First Nations territory that we have adopted as our home, and we are grateful to them for opening their arms centuries ago, decades ago, allowing us to continue living here. We are very grateful for that. But it is home, and we need to work hard to make this home better for all of us. So folks, I want to thank every one of you for being a part of this journey. I want to thank every one of you for caring. I want to thank every one of you for believing in me. I want to thank my team. And let me begin first by thanking Richard, who came on board wholeheartedly to help. I want to thank Elias for coming on board to help. We sort of have a gender imbalance this time. Last time we had a lot of women. This time somehow we convinced the men that they had to be more involved. They couldn't take a back seat anymore. So I want to thank Nabil for committing his time and energy and working in Waterloo and driving all the way back for these events and meetings and activities. Our newest recruits are Ahmed Atiya and Abdurrahman and his sister and the whole family. I also want to thank Hussein Abu Ghada, who is a genius when it comes to backroom strategy and politics. Okay? I want to thank Morag Fraser, who's always been there for me no matter what. I want to thank Michael. Michael, do you still have purple hair? No. Okay. Last campaign, he dyed his hair purple. Okay. I want to thank Gordon, who's been out there doing all kinds of stuff. Junaid for hammering signs and cleaning and whatever it takes. Ling and Howard, who I don't believe is here, but Ling is here.
Yeah,
oh, Howard's here.
Yeah.
For translating stuff into Mandarin for me at midnight. So I want to thank everybody that's here and involved. And if I've missed anybody, you know my excuse, I just didn't see you. I need to thank my crazy family who thinks, Mom, how do you do this to us? Oh God, another campaign, we're not going to have food again. Hossam, who puts up with me no matter what in my crazy adventures, and he has a injured thumb to prove it. He's not a handyman, okay? Shema, Sumayya, Yusuf, and Ruqayya, and Angela. Angela, I'm including you in the family, okay? That's why I didn't mention you as part of the campaign team. Angela and I have grown up on Holden Crescent together. My sister Uzma and her husband Jamie, There are lots and lots of other people involved in the background. I don't know if Dr. Azrab is here, and AQ Mufti, and many, many others who have believed in what I'm up to and have come fully on board. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know if Ajmal made his way here too, and Dr. Salha Jazan and Khalid. They were supposed to be here. Muazzam. You guys know who you are, okay? And I will plead the 11th Amendment. Okay, I'm making it up. I don't see you, so that's my excuse. Folks, let's go out and win this one. This one we have to win. And there are others who are not here tonight, former candidates in other wards in October who believed in me, who feel that I need to get there for all of our sake, because we need to put the real Mississauga on the map. The mayor has remarked that our current mayor has made some remarks about the fact that 200 people run the business of this city. Well, it's time that the 713,000, 99% of us run this city.